Smiles don't always mean everything is fine. There are stories we don't see. Beneath the smile, we need to understand that there are unseen struggles of many people, hidden pain. Not everything is as it seems. So today I want to talk about something we all see but rarely take the time to really understand. You know, when you see someone smiling, laughing, going about their day, maybe posting fun pictures on social media, hanging out with friends, it's easy to assume they are fine, that their life is smooth sailing, that they don't have struggles. But here's the truth: pain isn't always visible. And just because someone looks like they are okay doesn't mean they actually are. Appearances can be deceiving when it comes to people's struggles. It touches on the non-linear nature of pain and why we need to be more understanding and compassionate. Suffering isn't healing. It doesn't follow a neat timeline, and the strongest smiles often hide the deepest struggles. This is an important conversation, and I hope by the end of it, you'll walk away with a little more compassion, a little more patience, and maybe even a new way of seeing the people around you. Today, we will talk about the things people often don't say out loud, but we all need to be more aware of. The reality that just because someone looks happy, functional, and even thriving, it doesn't mean they aren't struggling inside. So there is this illusion of being fine, the illusion of happiness. You ever hear someone say, "Oh, they can't be struggling. I just saw them out at a party last weekend," or "they're always smiling, they must be fine." We are conditioned to believe that if someone is in pain, it should look a certain way. Maybe isolating themselves, crying, openly saying they are not okay, but that's not how it works for everyone. I had a friend, I don't want to tell her name for her privacy, let's call her Sarah. She was the life of the party, always laughing, making jokes, always the first person to check in on others, hyping everyone up. If you met her, you would never guess she was going through something. But one night, in a quiet moment, she told me that she didn't feel okay at all. But she said if she stopped smiling, she didn't know if she would be able to start again. That hit me hard, because here was someone who was suffering deeply, but to the world she was just fine. She said she feels more comfortable with me compared to most of the other people because I have been an empathetic person who is very interested in psychology. So she said what most people didn't know was that she was battling severe anxiety and loneliness. She was afraid that if she let people see her struggles, they would see her as weak. So she kept smiling until that day she finally admitted that she needed help. And that was the moment things actually started to change for her. That's the thing about the pain, it doesn't always wear a sign. Have you ever looked at someone, maybe a friend, a co-worker, or even a celebrity, and thought, wow, they have it all together. They are smiling in photos, attending events, keeping up with responsibilities. It's easy to assume that they are doing just fine. Have you ever looked at someone, maybe a friend, a co-worker, or even a celebrity, and thought, wow, they have it all together. They are smiling in photos, attending events, keeping up with responsibilities. It's easy to assume that they are doing just fine. But the truth is, appearances don't tell the whole story. Healing is not always linear. Pain doesn't follow a timeline. One of the biggest misconceptions about emotional pain is that it's linear. Like you go through sadness, then you heal, and then you are fine. But it doesn't work that way. Healing isn't like climbing a ladder where every day is a step upward. Healing comes in waves. Some days are great, you feel like you are making progress. Other days feel like you have taken 10 steps backwards. And just because someone was having a good day yesterday doesn't mean they aren't struggling today. This is why it's so important not to judge people's progress based on what you see on the outside. Maybe someone loses a loved one, and after a few months, people expect them to be over it. But again, grief doesn't operate on a schedule. You can have a perfect normal day, maybe normal months. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, a song, a place, a smell, or even just a random thought triggers a memory. And the emotions come rushing back, pulls you right back into the depths of it. It's normal, it's human, and we need to be more understanding of that. That doesn't mean you're not healing. It just means healing isn't a straight road. And it's the same with any kind of pain. Mental health struggles, heartbreak, personal loss. Some days you can laugh and have fun. Other days you can barely get out of bed. So what can we do? How do we show up for people in a meaningful way? How do we make sure we are truly supporting our friends, people in our lives, not just assuming they are okay because they seem fine? How do we support them without assuming we know what's going on just by looking at them? Let's talk about some actionable steps. Check in, not just when they look sad, but regularly. A simple, "Hey, how are you really doing?" can go a long way. And when you ask, be ready to actually listen. So not just "How are you?" Go beyond that. Sometimes "I'm fine" is just a cover. Let me say again. Try asking, "How are you really feeling lately? How are you really doing?" Don't assume people will always reach out for help. Some people won't say they are struggling. They don't open up because they don't want to be a burden and they don't want to bother others with their problem. Sometimes you have to be the one to take the first step. Remind them they are not a burden. Reassure them that they matter. Look for the signs. If someone starts withdrawing, canceling plans, or seems unusually tired or distracted, don't brush it off. Respect people's coping mechanisms. Some people laugh through their pain, some throw themselves into work, some need space. Just because someone isn't showing their struggles the way you expect doesn't mean they aren't hurting. Be a safe space, be present. Sometimes people don't need advice or solutions. They just need someone to listen without judgment, someone to let them be honest without fear of judgment. Let's talk about social media versus reality. We live in a world where people post their highlight reels, vacations, successes, picture perfect moments. But behind the scenes, they could be dealing with stress, heartbreak, or mental health struggles. I know someone who was posting beautiful travel pictures, smiling in every shot. Everyone assumed she was having the time of her life. But what they didn't know was that she was going through a painful breakup. Those pictures, they were a way to distract herself, to prove to herself and maybe to others that she was okay when she wasn't. So how to truly support someone, how to break the stigma. Mental and emotional struggles are still stigmatized in so many ways. People fear being seen as weak, dramatic, or incapable. We need to change this. Think about someone who finally opens up about their struggles. Maybe they say that they have been dealing with depression. Instead of sympathy, they might get responses like, "But you always seem so happy," or "You just need to focus on the positives." This kind of response can make them feel even more alone. What they really need is validation and support. So next time you see someone laughing, posting about their day, or going about life as usual, remember that doesn't mean everything is fine. Be kind, be patient, and most of all, be someone that people can turn to, not just when they look like they need it, but always. And when they open up to you, be empathetic, be understanding, don't be judgmental. I want to leave you with a thought, a personal reflection, and then a challenge for this week. Think about the people in your life, the ones who always seem okay. When was the last time you really asked how they were doing? Beyond the surface level, "How are you?" So here is the personal challenge. I want to challenge you this week. Reach out to someone you care about, not just with a quick text, but really ask them how they are doing. Let them know you're there for them no matter what. And if you're watching this video and if you're struggling yourself, if you are the one who feels like you have to keep up a happy front, I just want you to know it's okay not to be okay. You don't have to smile through everything. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. And if you don't have someone to talk to, please know that there are people out there who care. You're allowed to feel, to struggle, to ask for help. And there is always a way forward. Thank you for watching this video. If it resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you hit the like button, it will reach out to more people. And if you have thoughts or experiences you would like to share, I would love to hear from you in the comments section. And remember, just because someone looks okay doesn't mean they are. Let's be there for each other, let's check in, and let's make sure no one feels invisible in their struggles. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and remember, everyone is fighting a battle you can't always see.